Good morning, everybody. This is Margaret with Alabama Prepper. Yesterday, I prepared a deer hunter's breakfast. I had a lot of deer hunters here, and anyhow, I fixed breakfast for them. So I would like for you to watch our video and see how our deer hunter breakfast went. We did not, I'll use just about what I had in the house. I cooked out of my pantry. Just a few things that I used that I had to purchase. But if you would like to watch our deer hunter's breakfast, then it's coming up. First thing we're going to be doing this morning is trimming up our meat. I'm going to be cooking the loins and the back strap today. I've washed it. It's hard to get it clean sometimes, but we're going to be taking, there's this gristle that's on that back strap or on the loins. We're going to take all that off. I have a bowl right here. I have a bowl here that has milk and an egg in it, and as I cut this strap up, I'm going to put it in there. That will help to tenderize it just a little bit till I get ready to cook it. So we're going to get all this trimmed off of it. There's a little bit on the back. This is a sticky type of trim that's on here, and it can get all kind of trash in it while you're trying to dress it, so you have to be careful with it. All right, we've got this one all trimmed, so we're wanting to cut it so that you see how pretty that is. We want to cut it with the across the grain. If you cut it the other way, it's harder to chew it. So on the loin, all you have to do is just go down the loin like this. Take what you're cutting off. I'm gonna be having a crowd this morning, so I'm trying to get my breakfast prepared, get everything prepared. Just keep cutting it down your loin. See how pretty that is? And it makes it good and tender. This is part of a loin that was taken out of the deer. You just want to get it all trimmed up. Now this is one of the back straps. Each deer has 2 back straps in it. This is the most tenderest part of your loins and back straps. So do it the same way. You can see how pretty that is. Just take it. We, on our deer, we take the loins out, we take the back straps out, we save those for frying. On the hams, we debone the hams, and then we use the hams for smoking. They make the best meat smoking. A deer has a lot of good meat on it, and then for the stew, I'll take it and can it up in the jars. This one had quite a bit of trash on it. I want to make sure we have all that off. these guys, when they clean their deer, I don't know how they get so much trash on them on the table they got, but they do. I want to make sure I washed it. I put it under running water and washed it. But you want to get all that old flingy stuff off of it. And just cut it up. Very pretty meat. And the way meat's going up right now, we may be eating a lot of this meat. Which would be fine with my family. They could eat deer meat. They eat jerky, and we eat all parts of deer meat. This one cut up. Cut all this old gristle off the back of it, because you cannot chew that stuff up. It makes it real tough. A little bit on the back. Turn it over and just cut it. Well, I left a piece. Just go ahead and get that off of it, because it's just an old piece of fat gristle. This deer has been soaking in ice water for about 3 days, and that helps to draw a lot of the old blood out of it, and it's not nearly as bloody. We don't normally take our deer to be processed. We do it all ourselves. Okay, so that's the way you cut up the deer meat. We're going to be making our biscuits now. Oh, I don't measure. I've done this so long till I just do not measure, but got my flour. I have 2 pans ready, 2 of my cast iron. I have sprayed them, and I have put a little oil in them. And I just make a little hole. I am using buttered Crisco as my Crisco that I'm putting in. And I'm using buttermilk. So I'm going to put in quite a bit of buttermilk. And I'm going to put in some warm water. Sorry, I forgot to get my water. I add just a little bit of water. I know a lot of people don't do their biscuits this way, but this is a way that I've done them for 50-something years, and this is how my mama taught me how to do it when I was just 11 years old. I was making biscuits. She worked at night to help take care of us. There was 5 of us at home. I was 11. My sister was about 9. I had one brother that was a year older than me. And then we had 2 smaller children. And my dad was an alcoholic, and he didn't care about nothing except getting his drink. So anyhow, my mom worked at night to take care of us. So me and my sister had to do all the cooking at the house. So my mom learned me how to make biscuits so that we eat. You talk about poor. We got commodities. We got We got flour, we got grease, we got cheese, and we got powdered eggs. And we got grits. And every morning for breakfast, well, at night I would make the biscuits and put them, because we had to catch the bus at 6 o'clock in the mornings. And at night, I would make the biscuits and set them on the counter. And then the next morning, I'd get up and put them in the oven. And me and my sister would fix breakfast. We would fix our grits and our eggs. So we had our breakfast. Now, whenever you get your, when you get your mixture to where you think it's time to start kneading it a little bit, just start bringing it in. And you don't want to do this very much, but anyhow, just start bringing it in. Okay, let me wipe my hands. So when you get it to about this point, I just start taking a little pawn off, dip it in some flour, roll it in my hand, make a ball, and put it in your pan. Make sure you got a little grease on it. Biscuits is not hard to make. Just make a little ball. This is a big thing of biscuits because I'm expecting a big crowd, so we want enough to go around. Just take your little bit off, put it in your pan. When you put it in your pan, do a little bit of the oil where you're setting your biscuits in your oil. And I just keep taking little pieces off. Rounding them up. Just make sure you got them good and round. This is very easy to do. Practice makes perfect, and believe me, I have had plenty of practice. It's deer season. They clean the deer here. So there's always a crowd here, so they'll be here in just a little bit. So I'm trying to get everything ready so that when they get here, all I have to do is start cooking, or I'll probably start cooking before. Okay, we got our pan. You can see our pan. Now, what I do is take them and mash them down. And try to get, if you don't have enough oil in it to cover them, I'm just going to put my hand down in here. Just take a little oil and put it on top of your biscuits. Set your oven to about 375, and it'll take them about 20 or 25 minutes for them to get done. We're going to go ahead and make our tomato gravy first. I have my bacon here. This is some of our Sam's bacon that we used to get. We probably won't get it anymore because this went up too high. But I'm going to cut some bacon in here and fry it up. And we're going to take the grease off of this and going to make our roux for our tomato gravy. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of this fried up, and when I get it fried up, well, I'll bring you back. Our bacon is just about done. I went ahead and cooked enough that it won't take nearly this much grease to do our tomato gravy, but I went ahead and cooked a little bit more so that I would have a little bit. I love to season my peas and beans with it. So, anyhow, we're going to go ahead and get this out. Just some light, just a little bit. Making your gravy with bacon drippings gives it a lot, and this bacon is really popping, gives it a lot more seasoning, makes it taste a lot better. So let me get my, so we're gonna pour about half of this probably out. Gonna leave about that much in it. Now I'm going to take some of my flour that I had left over from making my biscuits, and I'm going to put just a little bit of flour in here. And I'm going to be using my tomatoes from last year. This is 2021. Still had a couple of jars of those left. And I always smell. I'm bad about smelling. Okay, we're gonna take our flour and we're gonna stir it around in our grease. I'm gonna put just a tad, about put too much flour in it. Just a tad. And we want to stir our flour around. When you're making gravy, you can use just oil to make it, but if you'll use bacon grease or sausage grease or something like that, it makes it so much better. It has such a better taste. So we got our roux, or our flour and oil mixture at the right consistency. Now we're going to pour our tomatoes in. I'm putting 2 jars in. It looks like this must have been just about whole tomato. I'm going to stir them around. Stir them around and get them mixed up real good. I'm about to turn my eye down too low. Gotta let it come back up a little bit. Get it back up here. The bacon was popping so bad I had to turn it down low. Tomato gravy is easy to make, and what I call milk gravy, or milk gravy with sausage. I will be making milk gravy this morning also, but I'm going to be making it after I cook my deer meat. I'll be making it then. It looks like goop right now, but believe me, it'll come back out okay. Alright, we got that pretty hot. Now we're going to start adding our water. Now, adding the water, after you add the water, it all depends on how thick you want your tomato gravy. If you like it real thick, you're not going to want to put as much water. But since I'm feeding a crowd this morning, I'm going to make mine pretty thin because you want enough to feed everybody. I'll go ahead and I'm going to add some salt. Put some pepper. A little bit more water. I gotta have enough. I got a big crowd coming this morning, so gotta have enough to be able to feed. I'm gonna do this, and I'm doing milk gravy also. So we're gonna let this cook a little bit, and we'll decide if we want to add a little more water or not, and then I'll bring you back. We're going to start cooking our deer meat. We've got our deer meat over here that's in our gravy. I sifted out the flour that we had left over from the from our biscuits, and I'm going to add some Lawry's seasoned salt to it. Stir it up good. Now with deer meat, you don't cook it very long. Gonna put it in here and we're gonna get it floured up. Our grease is hot, so you put your deer meat in when your grease gets hot and it starts cooking. Deer meat cooks real fast. So basically, all you're going to do with the deer meat is brown it on one side. You're going to give it time enough to cook, and we'll turn it over. It only takes a minute for it to cook. You don't want deer meat to be crackling done. Get our pan full. I think we can get a couple more pieces in there. We've got our biscuits in the oven. We've got our tomato gravy done. Get some more of the meat ready. And I'll move this so you can see the meat cooking better. We're just going to let it fry till you start seeing what looks like a little of the blood coming to the top of it. We're going to take this piece and turn it over. And you see it's cooked on the back side of it. I got my plate ready with my paper towel. I'm going to turn this piece over. You see it's browned on the other side. You don't want your deer meat to you don't want it cooked to death. To get a good, tender tasting deer meat when you cook it, you just want to brown it on each side. And it's done enough by the time you do that. See how the blood has come up to that? Just turn it over and let it cook on the other side. Let it cook just a minute. See how pretty that is? How it's cooked just right. Just want it to brown. See how pretty? Just browned it just a little bit. It don't take deer meat very long to get done. Take that. And then all of this is ready to come out. So that's how you fry deer meat, and you don't cook it to death when you're cooking it. It makes it so good and makes it so tender. To cook milk gravy, we just about, well, I changed over. We have another pan of deer meat over here, but we're going. I needed to go ahead and get my my gravy done, so I'm going to pour. This is our grease off of our milk gravy. Now, because you're using flour, there's a lot of flour in here that you don't want to use. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray my pan a little bit more, and then I'm going to take this grease that I just poured off of our deer meat, and I'm going to put some of it back in there. So you don't want to use all this for your gravy. Now, because I had seasoned salt in the gravy that I was doing the deer meat with, I'm going to use just some more flour. We're wanting to make another, like, roux. My dog says somebody's out there. And get this stirred up good. Stir it till it browns good. The gravy mix had a little bit more. So we about got it to where we want it. So we're going to start putting milk in it. You're going to stir it, let the milk, let it come up to a boil. Turn the you can see how thick it is. It gets real thick. I'm sorry, I had to go let my dog out. I forgot to turn my camera off. So we're going to let it thicken up. If you're making a small batch, you're going to add a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. So we're going to let that heat up just a minute. Still cooking deer meat over here. We're about to get through with it. My men are fixing to come in. Now, on the gravy, on the milk gravy, you can let it get as thick as you want it. If you don't want it real thick, add some more milk. If you want it thick, then don't add more milk. It'll heat up. As it heats up, it'll get thicker. So there you have it. That's how you make your milk gravy. I am still cooking, but I'm just about through. I wanted to show you our breakfast, our tomato gravy, our milk gravy, bacon, biscuits, and we're still cooking deer meat. A deer hunter's breakfast.